masked federal agents at traffic checkpoints, mopeds and scooters piled high onto flatbeds. In DC, what began as a local law enforcement crackdown on unregistered vehicles has turned into something else entirely.
Me acaba de parar el ICE. Entré a la gasolinera a echar combustible y terminando que ya iba saliendo, se estacionó la policía, el carro de la policía y más atrás un carro particular.
Since the president's federal takeover of the Capitol, DC police officers and federal agents now move together. And traffic enforcement has become a pipeline to immigration enforcement.
We are definitely seeing MPD cooperate at a level we've never seen before, and it is resulting in people getting arrested and sent to detention.
Evident Media, along with our partners at Bellingcat, have geolocated, mapped, and verified over 40 videos and photos from across the district. Many show strikingly similar tactics: traffic stops that quickly turn into detentions, officers pulling workers off mopeds, and raids at known locations for immigrant laborers like Home Depot. Across 3 weeks in August, the Trump administration claims it arrested over 300 individuals without legal immigration status. The videos and photos we analyzed show just a small snapshot of that, but give glimpses at patterns in how ICE is working with DC police. We organized these incidents into a few key categories. 22 of them, just more than half, show arrests of delivery drivers or tradespeople. 5 show other kinds of traffic stops that escalated. 2 videos show other kinds of coordination between federal agents and DC police. All of the 42 videos and photos we analyzed show federal agents operating in DC. In 21 of these, local DC law enforcement can be seen working side by side with them. In some videos, it's difficult to identify which federal agencies might be carrying out the stops. Agents sometimes wear plain clothes and masks. Many lack any identifiable badge or patch to note their agency, wearing tactical vests that bear only one word: police. But there are a few key signs you can look for when trying to identify these agents. Some agents do wear a green ICE badge on the front of their vest or their shoulder. Some vests say ERO, or Enforcement and Removal Operations, a unit within ICE that traditionally has targeted non-citizens who violate immigration law, especially convicted criminals that pose a public safety threat. Other agents can be seen with vests that bear the letters HSI. Homeland Security Investigations, created in 2010, is the branch of ICE focused on investigating transnational crime, from human trafficking to terrorism. The agents often drive unmarked vehicles with plates from a variety of states, including Maryland, Virginia, Massachusetts, and Texas. Accompanying the ICE agents, we also saw U.S. Park Police, FBI, DEA, and ATF. In 2 videos, agents can be seen wearing the vest of the Diplomatic Security Service. DSS is the security agency for the U.S. Department of State, established primarily to protect overseas embassies. In one widely shared video, the person recording claimed agents pulled over their Uber Eats delivery driver for having incorrect tags on his bike.
He was being questioned by like 8 or 9 ICE officers, and they were asking about his moped specifically.
Then checked his registration and insurance and saw it was valid.
The guy clearly says that he doesn't understand English very well and that he wasn't sure what was going on.
After asking about his immigration status, they detained him. In another incident, filmed by an NPR reporter, U.S. Park Police pulled over a man for driving a commercial vehicle on park roads.
What's the traffic issue?
Commercial vehicle on a park roadway, we're not allowed.
Then an ICE agent detained him.
This is traffic stop, man. U.S. Park Police is full authority.
Evident Media asked the Department of Homeland Security about these specific incidents and whether federal agents were using race as factors in their stops and arrests. A spokesperson told us, "What makes someone a target for immigration enforcement is if they are illegally in the US, not their skin color, race, or ethnicity." The spokesperson also claims all the men detained in these 2 videos were undocumented immigrants who entered the country illegally, though they mentioned no other criminal record for the men. DHS did not comment on why the men were stopped by local police in the first place.
you now have situations in which DC police and ICE are in fact working very closely together.
Teo Armas of the Washington Post has been reporting on a new kind of coordination between DC police and federal agents.
A police officer would stop a moped driver or stop a car driver and ask them for registration, license, and proof of insurance. What is now happening is that an ICE agent might stand behind them during that traffic stop, and ICE is using that same information, looking people up to determine someone's immigration status. And so what that ultimately results in is that there have been some instances in which drivers themselves are not necessarily violating any traffic laws, but they're being detained anyway because they don't have legal status. This sort of traffic stop is basically being used then as a pretext to funnel someone into ICE detention.
These tactics, turning traffic stops into immigration action, mark a new step in the immigration enforcement we've previously documented on the other side of the country, in California, where targeted sweeps of workplaces, neighborhoods with high Latino populations, and raids outside of Home Depot led to 2 federal injunctions barring federal officers from violating the Fourth Amendment. In DC, Michael Lukens, who runs AMICA, an immigrant law center, says he's seeing similarities.
What we're seeing right now is, I think, ICE taking the easiest way to hit numbers and to get on video. So you see them in, areas of Columbia Heights and Adams Morgan and Petworth and in Southeast where there are larger immigrant populations. I would call that high-level racial profiling.
But there's one key difference between these operations in DC and the ones in Los Angeles. In California, state law blocks police from helping federal immigration enforcement. In DC, Trump's takeover dissolved those protections. And DC Metropolitan Police now work almost universally with federal officers. But even in the district, there are limits to what officers can and can't do during a stop.
If you are an ICE officer, and the only thing that you have to fall back on in justifying arrest is a person's racial makeup and what vehicle they are driving, then you have conducted an illegal stop and an illegal arrest.
What Michael is outlining are the protections anyone in the US, regardless of immigration status, receives under the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. Someone's race or occupation cannot be used as the sole basis to detain them, which is why many legal experts are calling the prevalence of moped stops into question. Beyond raising constitutional questions, the coordination of local police and federal immigration agents is having an impact on the relationship between DC residents and law enforcement.
Por lo menos no existe un comunicado donde dice la persona que tenga su moto en regla, tenga su documento en regla, puede salir a trabajar. No lo hay. Entonces todos tienen el temor.
Mass attendance has dropped 20 to 25% in the past couple of weeks, reflecting community fear.
I do think that there was, a certain sense of trust in police that perhaps has been frayed in some way between local police and immigrant groups that are, broadly speaking, fearful or anxious about interacting with government entities because of mixed legal status or a lack of legal status entirely.
Evident Media produces independent, nonprofit visual journalism, and we promise to keep our investigations free for everyone. We do journalism the hard way, on the ground, in depth, uncompromising. So you, the viewer, can see for yourself. But making video journalism free isn't easy. If you believe in our work and believe visual journalism is a vital public good, please consider supporting us. The donation link is in the description.